and go ahead and get started today. We'll start with a moment of silence before we move to Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll move through the agenda. There should be copies of the agenda outside, and then you can also see them up on the screen. So please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Next, we will do roll call.
Commissioner Knight.
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor.
Present.
Commissioner Asasi.
Present.
Commissioner Robbins.
Present.
Commissioner Purdue.
Present.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes. So before I ask our interpreter to come up and introduce themselves, just to let you know that if you do need assistance with interpretation services, we do have that available. Just in looking at the agenda, I'll let you know we have two opportunities for public comment today. First one will be on agenda items. So these are items that we're actually voting on today. And then towards the end of the meeting, we'll have open public comment on any other issue. So we have our interpreter who can come up and introduce herself. And again, if you need assistance, please let us know.
If you push the button, please.
Good afternoon. Annabelle Hernandez, and I'll be here. It'll be my pleasure to offer community interpreting today for everyone. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Anabel. Si necesitan interpretación, estaré aquí para brindarles servicios en español. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, that will take us to our first opportunity for public comment. So this is public comment on agenda items. These are items that we talked about earlier today in one of our standing committee meetings where we're going to vote on today. And so we asked you to do a couple things: to come to the podium, share your name, the city that you live in. We'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak. And on this first opportunity for public comment, we ask that you be really explicit about what agenda item you're referring to. So if it's community development number 2 or cow number 1, please be explicit and let us know what item you're referring to.
Turn it on.
Had a feeling. See, it's crazy. I've been here too long. How you doing, everybody? I'm D. Jones. I'm speaking on community development item number 6. Listen to the presentation earlier about us needing 34,699 units by 2027. And I just wanted to say that I believe that the city of GR should think about investing in the 3D printing homes. I was at the Affordable Housing Fund for Kent County. I sat there and I gave feedback and actually connected with the CEO of Independent Bank. And that was pretty cool to speak to him. But I really would like you guys to consider thinking about 3D printing some homes. It's very innovative. It's better for the planet. And it's a lot of cost reduction. I know the government loves to save funding and costs and we really need affordable housing. We need low profit affordable housing. I didn't hear you guys speak about 3D printing, so I want you guys to think about 3D printing homes in the city of GR. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right, is there anyone else who wishes to speak on agenda items? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and move us to approval of our minutes. And Commissioners, can I get a motion to approve our minutes from February 20th?
Moved. Support.
All right, moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. That will take us to petitions and communications.
First one is a communication received from Ed Kettle regarding the master plan.
That's received and filed.
Communication received from Nancy J. Court regarding the city's commission's decision not to pursue a historic designation for John Ball Zoo.
That is received and filed.
Communication received from Scott Atchison regarding renaming and rebranding Kent County to Grand Kent County.
That's received and filed.
Communication received from Don Boltman, president of Southbridge Condo Association regarding cell reception.
That's received and filed.
22 communications received expressing support for Bengoy for the 3rd Ward Commissioner appointment.
That is received and filed.
8 communications received expressing support for Marshall Kilgore for the 3rd Ward Commissioner appointment.
And that is received and filed. All right, next that will take us to reports of city officers.
Comptroller's warrant report for the period of February 7, 2024 through February 20, 2024 in the amount of $18,824,686.66 and the monthly travel and funds reports.
That's received and filed.
And the treasurer's report for the period of February 8, 2024 through February 20, 2024.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to our consent agenda. So our consent agenda are items that we voted on earlier today where there was a unanimous vote. So today with one voice vote, we will adopt those items. Commissioners, can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to items removed from consent, and we have one item that has been removed from consent for a couple of reasons, but the primary one is because we made an amendment during our committee of the whole.
So moved.
Support. All right, did you want to read it? I'll read it, and then I'll ask for a motion.
I'll read it, I got it.
Sorry, I looked to you like,
Usually we don't do that for.
I know,
So,
sorry.
resolution setting a public hearing on March 19, 2024, in consideration of an ordinance on April 23, 2024 for zoning ordinance housing policy text amendments.
All right, now I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
All right, moved and supported. Commissioner O'Connor, you want to tell us about this item, why it's off consent, and then also it's my understanding there's a text correction as well.
Yes, Mayor, thank you so much. This resolution setting a public hearing is related to the recommendations the Planning Commission unanimously supported and recommended to be brought to the City Commission regarding some potential zoning changes in 6 specific areas to hopefully give some pathways to create some additional housing opportunities here in the city of Grand Rapids. It's off consent because we modified the date of adoption to April 23rd instead of April 9. To give some more time to solicit feedback, as well as to hopefully have a new appointee from the Third Ward to join us at the dais and be present for that discussion and consideration. There's one other minor change. In the presentation that the planning director gave today, there were references to the removal of the minimum lot areas and setbacks, and that was referenced in the conversation as well as the documents making explanation, but in the actual grid, in the zoning ordinance, there's a grid. They were failed to be struck, so this is just a minor text correction that just to reflect the discussion and what was adopted by the Planning Commission was not actually reflected in this chart. So just making sure that that is noted and what is up for the public hearing.
Great, thank you for that clarity. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, I think all of us look forward to hearing from the public at our Commission Night Out meeting on the 19th. With that, I will call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. All right, Commissioners, we do not have any City Commission resolutions or scheduled public hearings or ordinances, so that will take us to our last opportunity for public comment. So if you are here to be heard on any other item, you're welcome to come forward. Again, the same rules apply. We ask that you come up to this microphone, that you share your name, the city that you live in. You'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. We do ask that you take a look at the expectations around meeting procedures. Have your comments directed to this body and not to anyone in the audience. If you do have questions, we will not answer them. So we're here to listen, not to banter back and forth. And then also we ask that you be respectful of language and not use any derogatory comments. You can see the language up there. So name calling, all of those things, we ask you to refrain from using that language while you're here. So with that, we'll have our first opportunity for public comment.
Good afternoon. My name is April, Goodwin, period. I am the beneficiary of the all caps April Goodwin estate. I am here with my contract American flag, which is the proper flag. And I'm here to discuss the fact that we were threatened by a judge directly, sent to our home. This judge, she sent a direct threat to our home. And we came to the Mayor Rosalind Bliss, and then City Commissioners Sunita Lanier and Moody,
Yeah.
asking for protection from what we felt was an unstable judge, as she threatened lawless violence against us and threatened arrests. Well, it appears that this was not a threat, but in fact a promise, as she made good on her threat to have us arrested for absolutely no reason. She was angry with us because we sued her and we won the lawsuit. And she was angry with us, and so she sent this arrest. We brought it to the commissioners as this lawless violence continued to come against us, and we brought it to the commissioners and said, this is what's going on with our home, and we're having a problem with this judge. And I guess, I don't know, she got mad and threatened us. So this did take place on the 22nd of February, this past Thursday, 2024. And the officers came to our house and they unlawfully entered our home. And we asked to see, and they handcuffed my husband, and we asked to see the warrant, and basically they did not have a warrant. They didn't have anything. And we said, well, if you don't have a warrant, that is unlawful entry. Not only that, you lack jurisdiction. You lack any type of jurisdiction, and this is a fraudulent arrest. This is a wrongful, false arrest. Once the issue of jurisdiction has been raised by the Supreme Court, once the issue of jurisdiction has been raised, it cannot be assumed, it must be proved to exist before you can move one further step in the cause, as any movement is necessarily the exercise of jurisdiction. At that point, they should have left and come back with a warrant, or come back with something, or basically left because there was no show cause for this arrest. They didn't know where it came from or how it got there. They had nothing on paper showing my husband's name or our address. They could have broken into anybody's house in our street and said they had a warrant for their arrest. The Fourth Amendment states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation."
Your time is up, so we're going to have a city staff person follow up with you and get some additional information, and then we can follow up. But I'm going to have the next person
We
give them.
ask.
Okay, but your time is up, so we'll follow up. And Asante, will you connect with Ms. Goodwin? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to let the next person.
We were asking if you could void this because they're saying for us to show up on
All right.
computer.
Yeah, we'll need more information than that.
Thank you.
So Mr. Asante will help.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Asante Kane, thank you. Hi, welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. My name is Amy Brock. I vote in the 49548 zip code, and I work part-time in Ward 3 at an agency called Link Up. On behalf of the Kent County Progressive Caucus, I'm an at-large board member. We fully support Marshall Kilgore for his appointment in Ward 3. I've personally lobbied with Marshall for human rights in Lansing. We did get some bills on the ballot. Then I ran into Marshall again for his active role in environmental justice, and he's an active advocate for people of color and marginalized communities. So on behalf of how many times I've ran into Marshall and how many different groups he's supported, I just think what a great candidate for Ward 3. So I hope that you guys will highly consider Marshall and just his various expertises in so many areas needed for this city. On the committees as a whole meeting today, I was checking you guys out on Zoom, and I love the conversations that were taking place today where you're considering all citizens, what could potentially happen. That's really good, but I hope certainly that you won't pass something based on could it go wrong and will we backtrack? You know what I mean? And so I'm glad that you're thinking of it beforehand. I was talking to some housing advocates that I know, and this is a really passionate area of mine, because if you have housing, you can be better educated. If you have housing, you could be better in recovery. I remember one year I moved literally 4 times because I had to rent rooms, and it was very difficult. You have no housing rights. And so my only fear when I'm talking to these folks is, could people tear down 2-3 homes, build a multi-unit thing, and have to rent rooms with no rental control? I realize you guys said that is a policy issue, but when we pass these types of laws, could things like that happen where people with lower incomes or marginalized groups be unfairly affected by these changes? So when we say the majority of our city is in a different income bracket than the top %, I hope that you will consider all community members in these type of decisions being passed. So thank you. And the other things, ordinances being passed, you are kind of rethinking some of these things and saying, are some of our citizens more harshly affected than others? And so before you consider these things, I appreciate that you're considering the multitude of factors that could be affected. And I realize we want to make profit, we want to improve as a city, but how will we improve everyone at the same time? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. All right, others wish to be heard?
How you doing, everybody? I'm D. Jones. Just thankful to be alive. It's a beautiful 2024. At 1 o'clock, sitting on the call with the DeVos Performance Hall and the UEL, and I was just getting the logistics all and hearing everything, and I think I got a poop ton of confidence. I'm just getting even confident every day, just sitting there, just going through and just hearing that the DeVos Place Performance Hall has an interest of continuously bringing these esports competitions here. So I'm very excited, and I know I'll be a billionaire one day. I say that because I work for a video game company called Black Point BR. Some Special Force veterans are developing a game, and I'm one of those guys who's the regional director for our state for this game, and they're actually going to be developing a game with 10 kids in North Carolina at the North Carolina Esports Academy, and they're using the Unreal Fortnite engine, and Epic Games is located in North Carolina, so I'm very excited that this game is going to be, a playable game is going to be developed, and I'm already going to be speaking in Las Vegas. I'll be flying out in, what day is it? 12 days? I'll be flying out to Las Vegas and getting an Outstanding Leadership Award and speaking on a panel for game design at the Caesars Palace. I think I'm a luxurious, fancy guy, you know what I'm saying? I probably grew up in poverty, but I believe I'm a beautiful soul, and it's all in how you feel at the end of the day. And I know I'll have a life of luxury. I'm going to grind, and I'll fly long places and go places to get resources to give back to my community like I've already done, like I've already created change here. And I'm going to create even powerful change. And I'm going to be on Forbes again. I look to be on the 200 powerful list of influential leaders and people across the city. I know I can be that person. I think I'll have a large economic impact over the years, hearing that the DeVos Place wants to continuously bring esports competitions and seeing that I'm already bringing the largest cash prize in state history here. And I just thank you. And for the politicians that say, hey, D. Jones, don't forget about when you get big. Don't forget about I need your help. I need you guys to push the needle for me. Don't tell me that I need you when I need you guys too. I need the resources and the connections you got to help build our community up. And I promise I'm not going to forget you. I was a kid who grew up on Social Security, SSI, and I created a youth league, and now I'm bringing those kids to a gold game today. So I'm glad I actually got to, you know, you guys did this early because I got to speak to DeVos, and now I'm going to the gold game at 6, and those kids will be able to high-five the players and get that luxurious experience. And those are kids that are on probation and surveillance around Kent County. And those, I was that kid. And I'm going to continuously show everybody. I never faked nothing. I was always authentic and genuine and just D. Jones. But you guys have seen my work, and I'll continuously do work after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right, others wish to be heard?
Lucas, First Ward, good afternoon. Thank you to the members of the Committee on Appointments for your hard work in the process of seeking a new Third Ward Commissioner, and thanks to all of you for your thoughtful interviews today and your careful consideration. There are many critiques around the community for the process, how to follow along, stay engaged, commission, or questions of democracy versus appointment, opinions on letting it sit vacant. We can have those discussions, and I hope we do soon with a change-first mindset, but you should be appreciated for doing your best within the system at hand. I'm here to express my admiration for all 3 of the finalists that you've considered. Nobody will be shocked to learn that I did not expect to see it come down to 3 people that I believe to be honorable, able, and in the right headspace to serve. Congratulations to all 3 folks in the running. While I'll give Mr. Krajewski his status, I'll forgive him his status as a former cop and celebrate his status in education, I have to say that he's not representative of the community in the Third Ward to the ideal extent, but no hard feelings. I greatly respect Mr. Goey. I've heard glowing statements about him universally, just met him for 3 seconds in the elevator. He would continue to diversify our commission. That said, I do not believe we can merely appoint a temporary caretaker to a seat. Nothing can get done in just 8 months, and you can't sit here and tell us how change takes time and then sell us on a short-term appointment. We do have a long-term ideal option, Mr. Kilgore. Marshall Kilgore represents so much of who and what we need more of in this body. Not only does he continue the trend of average age leadership being reduced, he is representative of the key communities we desperately need to embrace and invite into the room where it happens. Additionally, he brings political savvy that helps cure one of the big weaknesses I cite in this room with an understanding of how to leverage the community's support to influence higher offices. That's a skill that's urgently needed to employ while we have the benefit of a capable, productive Democratic trifecta in this state. The first time that I observed Mr. Kilgore, I was deeply impressed and filled with hope for the future of leadership in our city, region, state, and beyond. If anyone deserves the advantage of a head start of just a few months in this seat, it is him. When it comes to representing the most of who we need as a city and assorted specific communities to be in leadership, I believe Marshall embodies all of it. And I believe I'm not alone in saying that his appointment would be an encouraging signal to the true majority of your constituencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leverett. All right, others wish to be heard?
Hello, friends. Mark from Grand Rapids. The individual who commented earlier about the judge going after her and her husband, that is the reason why you have to go out and vote. Because that judge sounds like a MAGA judge, which is unbelievable. People like that should not be on the bench. The reason why that judge is on the bench is because nobody didn't go out and vote. And trust me, if the orange man goes back into office, he's going to try dictator tactics and get rid of freedom of religion. And talking about putting in an insurrection act where he would give law enforcement carte blanche to go after protesters as far as to shoot and kill. If you don't want that, go out and vote. And it's just for president, Congress, and everything else. We got local, state and local as well. Because remember this, a new name is going to be different from Rouse and Bliss. And it could be some MAGA maggot being mayor of Grand Rapids. And that individual is going to try to follow MAGA policies and might change this city for the worse. If you don't want that to happen, get your butts off and vote. As simple as that. Because, and as far as the three individuals who's vying for the vacant seat of Third Ward Commissioner, that's fine and dandy, but there's going to be another election. And if individuals are going to come after you for the wrong things, individuals are going to come after you, they're going to be voting for the other individuals. That's the reason why, if you want to keep what's going on here, you got to go out and vote. Because the other side, they're going for power. And if you don't want, and if you want to stay home and sit on your butt and don't vote, I got one thing for you. Shut the hell up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. All right, others wish to be heard?
Good afternoon. My name is Dane. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Dane Gates, and I'm a resident of the Baxter neighborhood. Mayor Bliss, city commissioners, city manager Washington, and city staff. Regarding pending zoning recommendations, it is important to proceed with caution and align with the master plan. Unintended consequences indeed have dire consequences. Community members are very concerned about the pending zoning changes and very much unaware. And they support changes and education, engagement, and inclusion of the zoning process. And please add my voice to echo the request of others in adding resident public comment responses to city issues as part of Grand Rapids official public records. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments. All right, others wish to be heard? Hi.
Hi, I'm Lisa McManus. I'm a Second Ward resident. And I'm here to talk about the planning proposal that's in front of you. The Planning Commission has been conducting the master planning process for almost a couple years. And recently, I guess starting in July, as a result of that work, there has been a push to publicly talk about the zoning changes that are proposed. In spite of all the communication that's gone on, I haven't met one Grand Rapids resident outside of my immediate circle who knows or understands the changes. I've asked people on the street, people in restaurants, homeowners, renters in my neighborhood. I've asked residents from Indian Woods, Oakdale, Baxter, Roosevelt Park, Boston Square, West Grand, and several other neighborhoods, only to learn that the communication about these changes isn't getting any traction. The response is always, "What are you talking about?" It took 2 years to get about 1,000 people to give input to the master plan, but it took us only 2 weeks to collect over almost 500 signatures of residents asking for more information or to understand really how their neighborhoods are going to be impacted. So you don't have to slow down the process to host 4 community meetings. To explain it in layman's terms rather than planning speak, or to talk about how one thing on top of another changes a neighborhood, you don't have to slow down to give residents the opportunity to understand and voice their opinions about the specific zoning changes. And you don't have to slow down to show us the dashboard that you're going to use to measure whether or not we're getting more housing, lower rents, or at least leveled off rents. We just need to understand, really what the goals are and how you're going to impact, how it's going to impact our neighborhoods. You just need to be transparent and honest about what's really going on here. And I ask for your consideration on behalf of your constituents before you make these changes. I hope that you'll host four meetings in the community. And I'd like to have my statement added to the record, please. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you. Thanks for your comments. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard? All right, I'm going to close that public comment period, and I will turn to my colleagues. I think I'll start down here with Commissioner Knight.
Thank you, Mayor. This was a busy day, and I'm grateful to all the people who stepped up to put themselves out there to fill the vacant seat. I know the timeline may not be a lot, but I do know that 2 of the people that have made it to our final round are planning to run, so that hopefully will be some encouragement to the rest of the community, because I know when there's always change and things happen, people become uncomfortable. So we're hoping to move forward with that and make the best possible choice for this time, knowing that if 2 of them are deciding to run, even if neither one of them are in this position for the next couple of months, that gives them actually more time to build up the campaign and how they're going to actually do this work out in community and help the community understand who they really are and how they operate. We got a lot of things coming up before us in the next couple of weeks, and I think the timing is right to be able to allow those people to get more acclimated to what we're going to be voting on, what we're talking about here at the city, and how they're going to be an integral part of that work moving forward. So I'm excited about that, and our next meeting is going to be a night out, so it'll give opportunity for more community members to come and being engaged with the conversation with the city. Other than that, it's a Women's History Month, so I am thankful for all the women that I get to serve with and work with and hustle with on the ground each and every day, and all the work that they do, and I am grateful to be a part of that clan.
Thank you. Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Isasi.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all for coming out today. See a lot of familiar faces. Like, if we don't see some of you for a couple of weeks, we're like, what happened to them? So it's nice to see people, and a good reminder about the night out, because we will be having that public hearing on the proposed zoning changes. You know, I have my inbox, this is what I said earlier, my inbox is full of individuals who have said to me, go further with the proposed changes, do more to create more opportunity for housing in Grand Rapids. And I have individuals who said, stop doing this immediately. Some that, you know, I would say, were a little concerning, making some assumptions. I know there's things out there, flyers and videos. I've seen it all. I'm sure you all too. If you're in this room, you probably have as well. What I am committed to, because I think individually we need to determine, we all have different feelings about any changes that are before us. I am committed to meeting with groups that have reached out to me to talk more. And this week I'm talking to an individual who can't go to a meeting but wanted to talk over the phone. I have a smaller meeting this week with some neighbors. And then on Saturday, we actually, just before this meeting started, a few of us are going to be able to be at a meeting with Heritage Hill that they're going to put together. So I believe in community engagement. I also believe that community engagement looks different for every single person. And so for some of you, that might be a phone call to our office. For others, it might be running into each other at a community meeting, like I saw some people last week, or it could be something that we create individually. So I'm committed to that. I think our process is set. I don't see us changing that. We did allow for some more time today. So I know we're kind of up against some spring break schedules, as well as, you know, I think just a reality of some additional time to do some meeting, especially bringing on that new person. So I do want to say that. And today, please go back to that recording. I did ask a number of questions that I have heard from constituents, things that have been emailed directly to me or things that have been sent to me about questions and wanting to know more. So I will hope that nobody will ever say, like, this meeting is never the volley and serve, right? But we can create those times where we can have that volley and serve in that conversation. And then I think the last thing I wanted to say too is just, again, thank you to those that have applied to serve as our third ward commissioner. We were kind of talking after the meeting, like, what would we be like if we were in that spot? And so I know a lot of people said they were nervous. I probably would be nervous too. So I encourage anybody, if you have feedback, please share that. We are certainly reading that. I probably won't respond to every single one. We've gotten a number of them, but we certainly read that. And I look forward to making a decision, much like you said, Commissioner Knight, for the time that we're in. The time goes by fast. And so I appreciate that we will be in the first ward at our next meeting and be having that conversation. So thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Commissioner?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just wanted to add my thanks. Good to see the three finalists again. Happy to talk to them and dig into more about who they are and what they're passionate about and what they see themselves doing as a part of this body. And then likewise with the zoning proposed changes too, I think it's always difficult to translate city language to everyday language, and so happy to connect people to resources if there's specific questions that we've got. I think Commissioner Sassi had a good call out with the recording of this afternoon's briefing, being a good high level overview of some of the changes that are being proposed and discussing a little bit of their potential impact and just working towards creating more housing supply at all price points with the goal of making our community as affordable as possible. So there will be plenty of opportunities, I think, still to engage. Looking forward to seeing everybody at Commission Night Out in a couple weeks here. And yeah, I look forward to having some more conversations then. So have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks, Commissioner.
Just want to thank everyone for a productive day full of information and conversation. And I just want to thank everyone who has expressed interest in serving our city, whether it's for the third ward vacancy or other volunteer boards and commissions, which we remain to have vacancies on. And there's always an option to serve on. Looking forward to continue conversation. Looking forward to April will be a busy month as we consider zoning changes, have Commission Night Out, and March and April, and make some decisions later this month around the vacancy. So, you know, our inboxes, our phones, our lines are always open, and looking forward to hearing from additional folks around your thoughts on these processes and these proposed changes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. City Clerk?
Yeah, so Commission Night Out on March 19th will be at Harrison Park Elementary in the First Ward. There'll be engagement time, doors open at 5. There'll be some engagement time and some dinner from that time until 7 o'clock p.m., and then we'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. So a little similar, but a little bit different. So always working on how we're doing these community engagements. So come on out for that. Happy Super Tuesday. A lot of states are having elections today. We had ours last week. Turnout in the city of Grand Rapids was 18.5%. 673 of those voters voted early. Not a mighty number, but we learned a lot that'll get us ready for August and November. Trained a lot of workers on some of the new tools that go with that. So we had 14,327 vote by absentee ballot and 12,444 that voted on election day. So lots of different ways to engage, and more information obviously will come out as we go August, as we get closer to August. There is a May election for the 21 voters that are in Kennewick Hills School District. They have a May election, so our friends at the City of Walker will be hosting them for that election day. So
yeah, thanks, and I'm going to add a thank you to all of our election workers. So, City Attorney? Thank you. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioners, for your work today. I also want to thank the staff for their efforts in making this meeting possible. I'd like to take a point of personal privilege and recognize joining us today, if she will stand up, is our new Human Resources Director, Randy Bowers-Payne, who's been with us since January, but is making a transition to Eugene, and so good to see her today, and we look forward to her work and leadership. I also want to highlight at the Community Night Out meeting the additional opportunity for engagement beyond public comment on the zoning text amendments will happen at 5:30 roughly. We'll have several planning staff, as Director Turkelson outlined today, engaging with the public and offering an opportunity for dialogue beyond just the public expressions that you'll have during the public hearing. So we are too looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you, City Manager, and I'll just add my thanks to everyone for all of your work today. And also I look over here and I see the Appointments Committee that led the process and got us to where we are today. So thank you again for your leadership through the early process of the appointment process. And then, I was thinking, Commissioner Perdue, after what you said, we have actually a busy 3.5 months ahead of us, because we have our Commission Night Out in April. Obviously, we'll be talking about zoning. We'll have a new commissioner that will be hopefully welcoming around this table. But then April 23rd, City Manager will be presenting the budget to this body, and we'll be working through that all of May and hopefully have that voted on by the end of May. We have been active in that discussion for months now, dating back to our retreat several months ago, and then our mid-year retreat, and then continuing to give him feedback as he works on developing that budget with his leadership team. So it's going to be a busy few months for all of us, and we'll make sure that as that rolls out, we continue to do our best to improve our communication and get information out to the community in a way that is understandable. And even though it's going to be every year, I feel like it's a big budget. It's hundreds of pages long, but we do our best to try to break that down into really easy, understandable chunks to the best of our ability. So we'll continue to work on doing that with our communications team as they try to get that information out to the public to make sure that folks do understand. I totally get the feedback when we hear it from folks. I've talked to a lot of people about the zoning code. There's lots of acronyms. It can be very hard to understand. We recognize that. We live this every day. And so it's easier for us, and we know that part of our job is to make sure that we're providing good information to people in a way that they can understand it. So please know that we take that responsibility very seriously. So we'll do our best to continue to do that. With that, thank you again, everyone who came to join us this afternoon. And then I see Mr. Bingoy in the audience still. I'll add my thanks to you and the other two candidates who are willing to step up and serve our community. And with that, we are adjourned. Have a good rest of the day.